10 to 20 seconds video to quickly just demonstrate the interaction of the end-to-end flow. By having like a overview section, it's going to really help the audiences to set up the context to understand what exactly is this product about. If you're going to talk about a challenge after you help the audiences set up context, it's going to be easier for the audiences to follow structure in your case study. So for example, for me, if I have never seen this case study before, I would want to first know what exactly is this product, and then like go through other sections like the challenge, user research to learn more about how you created design solutions to solve some of the problems. Yeah. So I would recommend having a overview section before you talked about challenge, talked about your process. Yeah. Okay, and for the challenge section, I think it's great that you create a separate section just to talk about the challenge, because highlighting the challenges that you solved is definitely a very critical part. So the challenge definitely deserves its separate paragraphs. I would recommend not mixing the goals and challenges together. So here I see that it seems like in this paragraph, you talked about two things, not just about the challenge, but also talk about why the team decided to redesign the whole website. So that's why just now I try to get confirmation from you, trying to understand what exactly is the end goal of redesigning the whole site. And it sounds like your team wanted to redesign it because the team wanted to attract new investors to make more donations. So that seems like it's the end goal of doing the whole revamp of the website. So it'll be helpful if you could clearly separate the goals from the challenges instead of mixing both of them in the same paragraph. So it's helping the audience to clearly understand what exactly are the problems that you're trying to solve and why you will need to solve these problems, which is the goals. Yeah. Okay. And for user research, I really love some of the approaches that you took. For example, you went to museums, you also participated in some activities. Talking to other people, really going to do those like field studies is definitely going to help you get a deep understanding of the user's needs and also the user problems you're trying to solve. I think this approach is very unique. I just had a nitpick feedback in terms of the layout of this part. I see that some of the images are on the right side and you have the description of your approach on the left. When I was like reading through these two paragraphs, I was a bit confused about, is this image part of your user research or this image belongs to the challenge section? So if say both images is related to the user research you did, maybe you could consider play around with the layout so it's clear to the audiences that both sections are related to user research. So that's a nitpick I have. Yeah. And it sounds like to me, these two paragraphs all belongs to, or say they're all related to some of the research you did. So you did field study by visiting museums, and also you participated in some local activities. So if say all these activities you did were all for doing user research, maybe you could consider how to like group or say combine the two sections into one. So it's clear to audiences that these are some of the research methods that you have took. And the title as is a bit unclear to me, honestly. So I would recommend that either you combine the two sections into one or making the title of this one more self-explanatory. Yeah. Okay. Right. Perfect. Okay. The other recommendations I have is that once you talked about user research you did, also really highlight what exactly are some of the key findings about users, because the user pain points and the user challenges are going to be like the core of your case study. So as designers, we need to take a user-centered approach to solve problems, and problems we need to tackle are usually related to like user problems, right? So you would want to like summarize what exactly are some of the key user problems, maybe after this user research sections, so that it's very clear to the readers of your case study of what exactly are some of the user problems you're trying to solve. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, moving forward to the next section, testing layouts. I think it's great that you are showing a lot of different explorations you did. In a lot of other people's case studies, something that I think is missing is that they don't really include the design exploration part. So they would jump directly from like user research and then talk about what is the final solution. I highly encourage all designers to include the design explorations in their case study, because for like from an interviewer's perspective, without seeing like different design variations you have created, it's hard to know whether or not a designer can think out loud to come up with different alternative solutions to solve a problem. So showing design exploration is definitely very critical. And I see that here you included some variations you have of the design explorations you created, which is nice. And I would highly encourage you to put more visual emphasis on some of the design explorations you did. One recommendations I have is to make the images here bigger, because currently they're a little bit too small. And also, actually, before you told me that I could click on some of the images, I was not aware that these images are clickable, because for some reasons my my mouse didn't like change to that little hand. So I was not aware that these images are clickable. So I would recommend either you make these images bigger, or just clearly call out that these images are clickable, and you would recommend the audiences to click on some of the images to browse through them. Yeah.
Perfect. I'll do that.
Right. Yeah. And the outcome. Yeah, I think the outcome looked very positive, which is great. And I think you're being really honest, because you mentioned there was a significant increase of which I was not given details. I would recommend that talk about the outcome that you know what exactly is the outcome. So for outcomes that you're not sure what exactly it is, I would recommend to just drop it. Yeah. So just talk about the outcome that you know what it is. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I think it's great that you show the before and after side by side. And my feedback is, I think right now I'm not exactly sure the rationale of why you make changes to certain things.
Brilliant.
I hope the feedback are helpful for you.
Wow, I'm taking notes. Everything here is gold.
Okay, really glad to know that this is very helpful. And
It is
that's
very
all the
helpful.
feedback I would love to share with you. Let me know if you have any questions.